Diamondbacks are a goddamn wagon. Welcome into the PHNX D-Back Show. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known, once again, as your mayor of PHNX. I have taken back my duties from this man now that no more people with pitchforks and torches are coming for us. He's still the vice mayor, though. He's your thunderstick. It's Jesse Friedman.
Rocking the Suns unit today, huh, Derek?
I am proudly rocking. Look at this. This is good luck finding this anywhere until October, buddy. I had this custom made, but yes, Kevin Durant was nice in the house wearing a Corbin Carroll jersey, so I thought I would return the favor by wearing a Kevin Durant jersey. For some reason, it doesn't seem to hold the same weight, but still, I'm doing my part. The Arizona Diamondbacks did their part, Jesse. They once again won a series, their second series win in a row, and the Arizona Diamondbacks have yet to lose a series in 2023. Pretty damn impressive considering we were just hoping for them to be playing 500 baseball at this point of the season.
The Diamondbacks are 8-5 through 13 games against three very, very good opponents. And yeah, I mean, on one hand, like, this is baseball, right? And like, weird things happen. But the D-backs have just played really well early on in the season. I know things haven't been perfect. There are still some things that, you know, you want to see shored up over time, maybe a little bit. The bullpen wasn't great in this game today.
Was not.
But Drey Jameson was outstanding, and the offense really broke out. It was nice not having Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Brewers.
Yes.
The D-backs were able to really get something going against Jansen Junk of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Great name.
Great name.
But threw some junk today, and the Diamondbacks took advantage of it. On the other side of the bump, Drey Jameson, really, really good as a starter. To the surprise of nobody, Drey Jameson continues to shine in whatever role he is thrust into. We talked to him the other day. He didn't have an idea of the pitch count that he would be held to, but today he was held to under 60. I believe he hit 55.
54 pitches.
54, yeah. But Drey Jameson's line, very good. 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. I truly feel like what we saw today was a future starter for this team. And I don't know if he continues to pitch this well and you just increase his pitch count, how you could remove him from the starting lineup, considering what he did today.
I mean, Drey Jameson had a 1.48 ERA last year in 4 starts, right? Yep. And you come into this season, you're like, okay, maybe Drey Jameson's good, but he's not that good, right?
Right.
And this season, granted, it's only 12 1/3 innings total. He has a 1.46 ERA so far this season. So Drey Jameson has come out this year and not only, you know, pitched in some big spots out of the bullpen and had some success in some key moments, but he came out today and helped the D-backs snag a series win against a very good Brewers team.
Yeah.
The Brewers came in here with the best record in the National League, and the Diamondbacks came in and took 2 out of 3 from that team. I'm not ready to say the D-backs are the best team in the National League at this point, regardless of what the National League standings might tell you right now. But this is a good baseball team that is a lot of fun to watch right now.
And as Charles Woodall Pike said up there in his comment, 5-2 on the first homestand. That's pretty damn good. Yeah. I think that's better. Like, had I said I thought the Diamondbacks would go 5-2 on their homestand, this one over here wouldn't have let me hear the end of it. He would have called me crazy.
I would have said it was possible. I would have thought
you wouldn't have said it was possible. You would have burst my balloon. You would have rained on my parade
for predicting it.
No,
I think it's a little crazy of a thing to predict.
Yeah,
but apparently it's possible.
Apparently it's possible. But the bigger question mark now, based on Drey Jameson's performance, is what do the Diamondbacks do without Drey in the bullpen? Right. Things haven't looked great without him. He gave them longevity. He gave them just somebody that Torey could kind of lean on in a lot of these cases. What we've seen in this series is a bullpen that has not been as good as what we saw early on. Andrew Chafin remains very, very good, but there are definitely some pieces, including Luis Frias, that did not have a very good day today. Chafin actually did come in and kind of save the day a bit after Frias was having a hard time.
It was almost more with his defense than with his pitching.
It's wild, right? Yeah.
Like Andrew Chafin stretching out to complete a double play, a bang play at first base that the Brewers challenged unsuccessfully, and then a screaming line drive right back to him that he was able to snag. Andrew Chafin showing off the defense in this one.
Yeah, but it still does concern us a bit outside of Andrew Chafin, outside of even some of the arms that we thought we could really count on. Kyle Nelson another guy that was very good today, considering how much of this game the bullpen needed to play. Like Jesse said yesterday, this was almost a bullpen start, considering Jameson was going to be on such a short leash as far as his pitch count goes. But very encouraging today all the way around. The bats stayed hot in the series. As long as they weren't hitting against Corbin Burns, the bats stayed hot. But Josh Rojas continues to be an absolute asset for this team.
He is. He's had three hit games in his last 5 games played. That's not bad. That'll play.
What's wild is his exit velocity and such not very good this season when you look at his Baseball Savant page. However,
he had some hard hit balls in this game.
He did have some, and he also was like 4 buttons down. And open shirt Josh Rojas creates as much chaos as open shirt Derek does. So that was great to see, and we kind of knew a big game was coming in from him. 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, an RBI. But what we did see was yet another team. And this kind of goes throughout the series that made mistakes on simple plays at times, based on the fact that this Diamondbacks team does create chaos, does cause a panic with their speed, and we saw a number of mistakes made, even though they did not have a stolen base at all in the series, which is just wild to me.
Yeah, it was honestly a couple of kind of hilarious mistakes, if we're being honest here. Geraldo Perdomo essentially bluffed a steal to second base. He started to go, and then he stopped. And I guess William Contreras just had this base stealing instinct, take over within him, and he made a throw to second base, even though Geraldo Perdomo didn't come more than maybe 15 feet off the first base bag, and Contreras just airmails it over the head of the second baseman. So Perdomo gets second. Technically doesn't count as a stolen base, but it counts
in our hearts as a stolen base. We know he did that with his feet.
And then you had Jake McCarthy laying down that bunt, and it's not the first time we've seen a Diamondbacks player lay down a bunt and reach on an error.
Yeah.
And it's going to go in the box score as an 0 for 1, but that the speed of Jake McCarthy on that particular play, as we've seen so many times, just gets in the head of the defender and just makes it a lot harder for them to make the play. The Brewers third baseman on that play had plenty of time, and he just airmails it over the head of the first baseman. So the D-backs speed did have a role in this series, even if it wasn't, the 10 stolen bases or whatever we saw in the last one.
Right. I think a crucial element here when it comes to the bullpen was, or the offense and the bullpen, is that the bullpen was kind of, giving up some runs. Things kind of looked like they were going to get close, maybe kind of get scary. And then we get a Corbin Carroll dinger that gives them that extra breathing room and really put this game kind of out of reach for the Brewers late.
That was so big. Yeah. Last year, there were so many bullpen losses, and we've talked about those so much. But another point that Mike Hazen in particular made over the offseason is we got to score more runs late in the game too.
Yeah.
You can't just have a 3-run lead going into the 6th inning
and then have your bullpen carry
and expect the bullpen to just carry it the rest of the way without adding any insurance whatsoever. The D-backs got that from Corbin Carroll, which his opposite field power is mind-blowing. I don't know how a man who is that small has that much opposite field pop. Corbin Carroll's at-bats have, maybe not been quite as good as he would like at this point in the season, but he has 3 homers after, 2 weeks of the season, which is pretty impressive.
The Clutch Canuck says Castro's throw to Walker was scary. We had a good laugh about that. Jesse was like he was trying not to throw a ball with a bunch of sink and spin on it.
It's such a thing. Pitchers who just have crazy amounts of movement, it's like they can't do the simplest of things.
They can't just throw a ball normal to another person.
I compared it to Bismack Biyombo from the Suns shooting a free throw. He's just such an enormous man. How am I supposed to just
this does not make sense to me.
Throw this little ball 8 feet? It's not a far enough distance for me to actually do. So Miguel Castro, he was able to make the throw. It worked, even if it wasn't pretty.
We weren't at Chase Field to talk to Torey after the game, but man, are we interested to hear about Torey's thoughts on what transpired with the home plate umpire. Torey got tossed in this one. He definitely got his money's worth on some of the
he did.
On some of the things he said. It's like one of those times where you just really want to get what's on your mind off your mind. You just want to give him a piece of your mind. And
if you get tossed,
he was he came out hot. He knew he was going to get tossed right away, but it kind of pushed the team there. I think it felt like the team suddenly woke up a bit. I feel like that was maybe Torey's intention. The umpire said to Torey at one point that we heard or we saw on TV, he said, "I heard you, Torey," and Torey responded, "No, you didn't, because I'm not done. You need to fucking lock it in." And I just love Torey so much.
He's such a nice guy. Like
that's still, the wild part.
It still startles me a little bit that Torey says stuff like
because
that.
He truly doesn't seem capable of it. Like
no.
he's so patient. Like not everybody that does this gig where they're a manager or an athlete, coach, anything like that in sports has the amount of patience for the media that I feel like Torey does. Like a lot of guys, sometimes you get them snapping at reporters for the way questions were worded or things like that. I have never seen that out of Torey in my entire time of covering this man as a manager of this team. But more importantly, it's just amazing how quickly that switch flips for him, you know?
Yeah.
He goes into Salvatore mode, and that's when
that's what it is.
That's in Salvatore mode.
My theory is he had some last minute packing to do for Miami.
Oh,
he had to run home.
You realized it really fast?
I don't know if their off day is. I would assume their off day is in Miami. They're probably flying out today.
Yeah.
So
and he wanted to get a good start.
Yeah.
And he was like, because he was telling us how much if it was up to him, he would wear flip-flops and shorts all the time, including while managing a baseball team. So I imagine maybe he was like, I didn't pack swim trunks.
Yeah.
I need to get tossed.
I mean, you have an off day in Miami tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
you have
right.
To hit the beach at least once.
If you're going to have an off day anywhere, you want it in Miami, I would think. That's the place that you would want to be. Miami is an incredible town. The rest of Florida, not so much.
I think that's kind of debatable. You think is Miami like the best city in Florida in your mind?
By far. There's not even a question. There's Miami and then there's Florida.
I just haven't heard many great things about Florida in general.
Right.
So, like, including Miami. Like, I don't know many people who are that excited about Miami. But I don't know. I've never been there. So.
You're broke, aren't you?
I mean, that's also true.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. All right. Anyway, moving on. Of course, the offense just didn't stop there. Our guy is trying to single-handedly push me to getting my hair dyed purple like his. So our king snake of the game, baby, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 3 for 5. That dinger, that hair, 3 RBI. Big game for him because his bat has not been. His bat's been a little quiet lately.
Yeah, it has. And Lourdes Gurriel sat yesterday against Corbin Burns. The D-backs gave him his first off day on Sunday, and then 2 days later he was out of the lineup again. So yesterday he wasn't sitting for rest, right? He was sitting because Torey just didn't really like what he was seeing from him. He talked about the matchup with Corbin Burns maybe not suiting him super well, which
didn't suit anyone well.
It didn't suit anyone else that well either. But yeah, it was good to see Gurriel back in the lineup and having a big game. He has not historically started seasons well, as we've talked about in the past. He has a career OPS of around 600 in April. So good to see Gurriel have a nice game.
And another thing that we talked about with Torey getting tossed, by the way, just taking a step back, is that Torey does have kind of an all-star coaching staff there. So it's nice for Torey to be able to know he can get tossed and then have someone of Jeff Bannister's caliber step up and manage this team without having to worry about what happens once he goes. I mean, I felt like it was a big kick to the team. Like I felt like the team kind of needed that fire in their blood, if you will, on a Drey Jameson start. But I also feel like Torey kind of has that safety net that I don't feel like other managers might necessarily have. Some do, but not everybody has that experience behind him on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, every manager, I think, has a bench coach that they trust. But Jeff Bannister does have, I mean, AL Manager of the Year with the Rangers back in the day. He's got some accolades there that, some bench coaches around the league don't have. So, it seems like those two trust each other a lot.
And he also, Bannister had a moment where it looked like Jose Herrera was possibly going to get tossed at the dish, and Bannister kind of stepped in and calmed things down, kind of going in the opposite direction of Torey's energy today. Torey got him all fired up. Bannister got him thinking straight. So it was good to see Banny out there managing in Torey's absence. But this team, again, putting things together. If you have a chance, this Miami Marlins team that they're up against this weekend, not been playing good baseball. So maybe you hop onto the BetMGM app, place your bets. Big marquee matchup on Sunday that we're going to talk about. But of course, Diamondbacks looking pretty good. Maybe some overs with the way that this offense is performing. Moneyline bets, you can get it all over at BetMGM. Also, Make sure to keep an eye out for our PHNX curated in-app bets coming very soon to the BetMGM app. We'll also have our monthly cornhole leagues out at the BetMGM Sportsbook at State Farm Stadium, along with Bo and Johnny doing the Cardinals show from out there. And I am so jealous of their view that they have of the stadium from that BetMGM Sportsbook. So whether you miss football and you just want to go out there and be close to State Farm, or if you can't wait for the season to get here, and when it does, you want to join us out there and all the fans out on the great lawn, make sure to join us at State Farm Stadium.
It's an enormous building.
It really
State Farm,
is.
Like, you can go on hikes and like various corners of the valley. And it feels like you can always see State Farm Stadium in the distance.
That big old toaster out there, But if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code PHNX and you will get $200 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using bonus code PHNX. Place a pregame moneyline wager in the amount of at least $10 on any market at standard odds price. You will receive $200 in bonus bets instantly, regardless of the outcome of your wager. Just make sure you use that bonus code PHNX when you sign up. Plus, join us at the BetMGM Sportsbook at State Farm Stadium for all Suns away playoff games. Our PHNX Suns watch parties presented by Neutral will feature food and drink specials, PHNX giveaways, and BetMGM deposit matches. And let me tell you, those deposit matches are going to be mystery matches, and you can make yourself some money on those. So make sure to join us. And now, listen to Shane. We'll get Shane in the studio here really fast, and Shane will talk about the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
He never gets tired. He doesn't even take a drink. He's ready to fire that disclaimer off at any time.
That's Shane's full-time job.
Yeah,
he just sits here in the office
corner right now with a microphone, just waiting to do that. Yeah. But thank you for your service, Shane. Thank you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Sign up for notifications so that way you don't miss any of our shows. And when we go live, leave us a thumbs up just for our own personal self-affirmation. If you're listening to us on your favorite audio podcasting app, subscribe to us there. Leave us a review. We always appreciate your feedback. Most importantly, though, sign up for a PHNX Sports Die Hard membership today over at gophnx.com. Not only will you get access to Jesse's newsletter, Full Count, and all the wonderful writing and content from this group outside of the store, you will also get free merch from the phnxlocker.com every year you're a member, free piece of merch, hat, or shirt. You also get 20% off all future purchases. You get access to our members-only newsletter, members-only Discord lounge, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan. You do get that newsletter as well. You get member-only merchandise, members-only discounts with our partners and at events, and so much more. So join us today over at gophnx.com. You can get a discount on events like our D-backs Takeover Pass, which is an incredible deal. Make sure to join us out here for some Arizona Diamondbacks games this season, because we are going to be hanging out with you guys. I'm going to bring Jesse out of the press box. He's not allowed to go up there the whole game. I'm going to make him leave his computer at home. We're going to watch some baseball and have some fun. The Takeover Season Pass includes 6 PHNX D-backs Takeover tickets, pregame meetup access with food. So we will feed you, we will watch some baseball together, and we will clothe you with our PHNX It's Always Sunny t-shirt. So make sure to grab that today. It's honestly an incredible value. Plus, what's not quantifiable here is the friendships you will make getting this season pass. There's only 20 of those left, so make sure to grab one today. And join us. We're going to have so much fun. Taking a look at numbers. We will take a look at numbers when we're doing the takeover stuff, and we'll take a look at numbers now because we got by the numbers for this series with the Brewers. And as you can see, once again, things pretty close, Jesse. 11 runs to 10 runs, 24 hits to 22 hits. Brewers made quite a few more errors. Of course, like we said earlier, that was
3 of them happened today.
Yeah, and that was due to the due to the speed of the Arizona Diamondbacks and the pressure that they kind of put on the Brewers defense and what they've been doing all around baseball. But it's really the starting pitching ERA that blows me away, because we talked about how significant it was for this team to get starting pitching back on track.
Yeah.
And 1.50 ERA against one of the better teams in baseball this year at producing runs is pretty good.
Yeah, somehow he went from Zach Davies being the best starter on the Diamondbacks to now it's like, Oh wow, you've got a pretty nice 1, 2, 3 going here with Gallen, Merrill Kelly, and Drey Jameson, right? So yeah, great to see Zach Gallen in particular, the 7 scoreless innings with 11 strikeouts. I don't know if we talked about that enough on our show yesterday because Gallen was just outstanding in that game. His curveball was just ridiculous. It was honestly kind of hilarious just seeing Brewers hitters swinging his over and over and over again at the same pitch.
Have you seen him use it that much? I don't recall.
He used it. Yeah, I think it was a career high number of curveballs that Zach Gallen had ever thrown in the game. It was like 40% of his pitches that day or something like that.
It honestly reminded me of a video game. You talk about stuff being a cheat code all the time, but it reminded me of like when a pitch is working for your pitcher in like the show, and then you're just like, screw it. This is what we're throwing.
Yeah, why would I throw it?
We're throwing this until my little bar is depleted on the energy on this one. But yeah, man, I mean, he was incredible. And we like you said, we touched on it briefly. He's such a big key to this team truly being competitive this year.
He really is.
They found a way to win, and that's great, but that's not sustainable. Just like sometimes you look at numbers and you can tell like they might be winning, but they're not really doing as well as you might think because, things have just kind of been lucky for them at times, right? This hasn't been luck as much. I feel like this has been Torey Lovullo managing games well, and the Diamondbacks, kind of doing all the small things right. Not necessarily, slugging the ball well or anything like that, but really just taking extra bases when they can, finding ways to score runs, small ball, small ball, small ball. And honestly, up until this series, the bullpen was a big key, but we're still a little bit concerned about the bullpen.
Yeah, the Drey Jameson-less bullpen is still a little
worrisome.
You knew that Andrew Chafin and Miguel Castro were eventually going to give up base hits this season. Castro gave up his first hit yesterday, also had a bit of a rough outing today. And then Andrew Chafin gave up his first hit of the season today as well. Those two have still been good by and large. I still feel like, you feel somewhat confident with those two guys, but outside of that, I mean, I guess Scott McGough has kind of bounced back nicely.
Scott McGough was going all out today.
Yeah.
The effort he was putting in was unlike we've seen. That man has a new child, and he wants this child to be proud of his father. It was incredible what we saw out of Scott McGough today. And honestly,
he didn't even catch, the ball was not playable or even close to playable.
No, but he was going to crawl. He was going to go 10 rows up to catch it is what he was going to do. And I'll say this, we talked about McGough. We talked about the ups and downs with him, but honestly, leaving Japan and moving here back to the United States with your spouse who is pregnant and is about to have your child, there was a lot going on for him. And I mean, I know sometimes that might seem a bit like you're making excuses or whatever, but it's really hard to have your mind completely on the game that you play when you have that kind of stuff going on in your personal life. And I mean, those are big life moments that are more important than the game of baseball, right? So there's something to be said about maybe giving him a pass a bit on the frantic nature of what his life's been like over the last couple of weeks. But Scott McGough has shown that he is going to be a good reliever for this team, and I feel it's unfair that we at one point made comparisons to him being like Mark Melancon with very little to go on besides one bad outing.
That one bad outing was pretty bad. I mean, it was.
It was immediately terrible.
It doesn't get much worse than a 1-run lead in the bottom of the ninth being immediately erased by back-to-back homers to start the bottom of the ninth. But yeah, Scott McGough was kind of a legend in Japan. It was honestly funny being at spring training and seeing how many Japanese reporters were there to talk with Scott McGough. He was a big deal there.
The Kaiwum Heroes were here. So there was a lot of Japanese media here in general covering the Heroes playing the Diamondbacks in an exhibition game.
Yeah.
But Jesse's right. When Scott McGough came out, all of a sudden the media all flocked to him.
Yeah, McGough, there were times when McGough was bombarded with media people and they didn't talk to anyone else but him. But yeah, good to see him kind of get on the right track. Kyle Nelson has been good once again.
It was very good today.
Yeah, it just seems to, even if some of the hard hit rate numbers don't look so great for Kyle Nelson, he just seems to find ways to get guys out.
One and a third, and he gave up 1 hit and 3 strikeouts. Like, you can't ask for much more out of a reliever than maybe that. But
he has had his slider has been good. I mean, he came in with like a 31% strikeout rate, which is already really high. And then you're talking about 3 more strikeouts in this game. So, yeah, that's been really good. You're going to get Joe Mantiply back pretty soon.
Very true. And that's some nice stability that they're going to get to the pen.
He is, I believe, pitching for the Sod Poodles tonight in a rehab start. Torey Lovullo said yesterday that he doesn't know if Mantiply will just need that 1 appearance or if he'll need multiple before coming back to the big leagues.
He had some weird travel issues, I guess.
Yeah, he was supposed to pitch yesterday. But Joe Mantiply apparently had one of those travel days that all of us have gone through. He described it as the
worst travel day of his whole entire life, which I can only imagine considering how much these guys travel for their job.
Do they have an airport in Amarillo? Like, I don't even getting to Amarillo feels like it would be logistically a little bit difficult. So
I used to live in Syracuse, New York, and it did have an airport, but it was astronomically more expensive than flying into New York City. So you could literally fly into New York City, stay in a hotel for a night, and it was still less money than flying into Syracuse total. Yeah, it was wild how expensive it was. So I imagine if they do, it might be a bit expensive. So you might have to that might have been part of the journey, is getting from wherever he had to fly into to Amarillo. But I mean, you talked about that stability. The relief pitching ERA, not very good in this one. If we take a look at the numbers again, the relief pitching ERA is 6.30. Obviously, a big part of that was today's numbers, I think, a bit. And also yesterday just got worse once Merrill Kelly left the game. I mean, again, that game yesterday was much closer than the final score would lead you to believe. But Merrill Kelly got hit with 3 earned runs on 1 hit. Like, that's
and I mean, in this series as a whole, D-backs starters only gave up those 3 runs. It was literally just those 3 runs.
Merrill Kelly's
at the beginning of the 7th inning. Merrill Kelly gave up the homer to Willy Adames, and then just 2 walks that came around to score. Right, so D-backs starters were outstanding in this series. And like we talked about, there's some pieces in the bullpen that you feel okay about. I don't think we're in a place where it's, the Diamondbacks bullpen without Drey Jameson is a complete disaster. We're back to last year, any of those things. We need to see more. It's too small of a sample, I think, especially with Castro and Chafin, knowing how much you're going to trust those guys late in games in the 8th inning, the 9th inning, in those big moments. But yeah, I think you still feel better about this bullpen than what they had last year.
Luis Frias might not be on the roster too much longer. Michael McDermott said they're going to keep Nelson on the roster. I agree with that.
You have to believe it's going to be Mantiply in for Frias or Jose Ruiz, who made his debut with the team last night and wasn't so great. He came in having allowed 3 home runs and struck out 3 batters with the White Sox. Last night, he kept those numbers the same by striking out 1 and allowing another home run. So he could also be the guy to get sent out. The D-backs did send out Carlos Vargas today as well. That was the guy they sent out when they brought Scott McGuff back from the paternity list. So we'll probably see him again at some point, but he wasn't so great early on. I think there's clearly some more development that needs to happen there.
And Frias, honestly, he had a couple of great pitches, but you can't take an outing like that and just focus on the 2 or 3 great pitches he had, right? He was all over the place. Another interesting tale in this series is the Diamondbacks didn't steal a base in the 3 games, and they still managed to win.
That can't happen, right?
I don't understand that.
You're not allowed to do that.
It's even hard for me to get those words out of my mouth, apparently. But the Brewers outsteal the Diamondbacks 1-0, and the Diamondbacks still manage to get it done. So if there's anything I like about this that I want to take away, and once again accentuate the positives, is that the Diamondbacks continue to find a way to win, and it's in different ways. But man, they just find a way to win. And this, we don't know how good the Dodgers team is. It really is right at this point, right? They might go on because we're seeing some mediocre performances out of some of the teams, like the Mets with the big payroll. The Padres are now 7-6, and the Diamondbacks actually have once again firm control of first place in the National League West, which just sounds insane for me saying that, but. the Brewers, they came in playing pretty good baseball, and they were. I'm not just saying the talk of MLB because that's obviously what's going on in Tampa Bay, but a lot of positive chatter about the Brewers, and the Diamondbacks found a way to do it against this team. And again, the Merrill Kelly start that we're not taking any credit at all for him blowing his perfect game or his no hitter.
He
doesn't want to talk about it anymore. No. But even that game, that like we said, that game was much closer than the final score leads you to believe. And who knows where that could have gone. But I think there was a comment a little while ago about just dipping your toes. And Michael Dixon says, I was dipping my pool in the optimism pool to start. I have now done a cannonball into hope and excitement. We are there with you. We are fully engulfed in the waters of being excited about this baseball team. We were before the season, but we will be the first ones to admit we did not think that they would play this good a baseball out of the gate and be able to beat the teams that they've been able to beat in the way they have. So,
do you want to know how many wins they're on pace for? Or is that just scary? Should we not? Maybe we shouldn't go there.
Let's do it.
We should do it? All right.
Do it. Let's go.
I'm a little gun shy after what happened yesterday. So
oh my God.
The Diamondbacks are on pace to go 162, which means absolutely nothing after 13 games, to be completely clear.
I'm out of here. No, that's it. We're 100 wins, baby.
Yeah.
World Series bound. Let's go.
Derek is at the point where we should just start talking about playoff matchups and who the D-backs are going to get in the first round.
Like, where are we going to travel? Where are we going to eat when we go travel for the playoffs, bro? I'm already thinking about renting cars and what hotels we're going to stay at. Let's fucking go. I'm excited, but I'm also very excited, Jesse. Look at these works of art. We haven't really acknowledged them. I did it with the King Snake, but we have some works of art right here, especially this brand new guy right here. This is our Cactus League Diamondbacks. Look at this thing. You can't even see it that well on camera because it doesn't do it any justice, but it's a sunset. It's beautiful. It's art, and it's from our friends at FOCO. FOCO is a leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise with a product line that includes apparel, accessories, toys, collectibles, these guys right here, novelty items, and so much more. It is the best officially licensed gear for all sports and fandoms. And of course, it's baseball season, so that means it's bobblehead season. These guys, this one right here, it's limited 27 of 322. That could tell right there.
Wow.
And let's see this guy. This guy is 45 of 144.
Wow, I didn't know those were numbered.
When we are talking about collectibles, we are talking about collectible bobbleheads. And man, we are excited about FOCO. So FOCO always has our back for Arizona sports, and they have yours too. So make sure to get the best gear around by using the link in our description. For all non-presale items, use the promo code PHNX for 10% off. How's your condo doing? What's going on?
Oh, can I share one thing real quick, or do I have to wait?
You have to wait.
You want me to tell you about my condo?
I want to know first about the furniture in your condo. That's much more important than any kind of information that you have.
Okay. What do you want to know about the furniture in the condo?
Did you get anything yet? Anything yet? Any bar stools?
Yes. Yeah, we have the whole thing. It's pretty much furnished.
The whole thing.
We just need one more couch for the upstairs.
Oh my God.
That's what we need. That room is basically useless. We did get a TV stand though.
Yeah.
For a solid 2 or 3 months. We were doing the TV on the ground thing.
I don't know
we're
if
past those days.
Meant to say this, but you said one more couch.
Yeah.
Like for more furniture.
Yeah, right.
Nailed it.
Exactly.
He nailed it.
That's where
and that's where that couch is going, and that's where he's getting it from, is more furniture. And he's gonna have it set up for him because it's upstairs. It's got a pivot.
Our stairs are a mess.
Yeah. You have turns.
More furniture. Yeah.
He's gonna need that white glove delivery
thing.
He needs it. He absolutely needs it. And a shockingly low amount of Chase lounges in his house. But we'll get to that at some point.
Zero Chase lounges.
Zero.
Yeah.
What? He's a fraud. Espo's a fraud. Bunch of frauds around here. But
Jesse's daily furniture report.
Yes.
People are tired of this, Derek.
No, we were not. Elizabeth, she put alarm bells around it, Jesse.
I think
that means it's fucking hot and exciting, and she was waiting for it. You guys can save big on the best furniture in the Valley when you head to morefurniture.com. Damon, what do you got for me?
Oh, I just said I think the people love it.
Yeah, right? It gets the people going,
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Jesse's personal life is a big hit on this show.
No, yeah. I'm telling you, it's a big hit with me.
That's what the people come for.
I have questions every single day. Let me tell you, this guy is an enigma wrapped inside a mystery. because he doesn't tell me anything about his personal life, hardly ever. I'm always guessing about it, and then it's always amazing to me. And are you going to Miami? Or are you staying here?
Yeah, I think I'm staying.
All right, well, he'll stay here.
Miami's, it's a little
some wild nights could have happened in Miami for Jesse, but they are going to be happening for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And like I said, they're catching a Miami Marlins team that is not playing very good baseball right now. So hopefully they can capitalize on it, and hopefully they can make Jazz Chisholm look really, really bad, because, again, I'm sick of seeing his face every time I fire up MLB The Show. I hate it so much, Jesse. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
They should allow me to customize the opening video so they don't have to look at him every time.
Yeah, could you do like a My Player?
Yeah,
like it's your own player.
I just want Zach Gallen. I want Zach Gallen because that to me is the correct option against Jazz. That's the correct counter, and we will see Zach Gallen in this series in a pretty marquee matchup on Sunday. Here's what we got for the probable starters coming up. Bumgarner, Jesse, in game 1. How you feeling about Mad Bum in this start?
Boy, yeah, that's a tough setup. How you feeling about Mad Bum? I don't know what to say. I mean, he's got a 7.27 ERA, Derek. Yeah. So I don't feel like I have to say a whole lot more. He's pitching on 6 days rest. It's been a full week since Mad Bum's last start, or will have been a full week by the time
they did give him that extra time with the Drey Jameson start.
Yep, they pushed him back in order to give Drey Jameson the start today. Trevor Rogers on the bump for the Marlins in that one. He's got good stuff. Really, really good year a couple seasons ago. Not so much last year. Not off to a great start this season. So yeah, couple of lefties who have been very good at times in the past, and not so great so far in 2023.
The big matchup there, as Kyle talked about in the chat, Alcantara versus Gallen on Sunday.
We'll be live after that one.
We might be live during it. I don't know. That's going to be an electric one.
That would be fun.
Yeah. So, and that's an early start. So make sure to get yourself some breakfast.
Yeah.
Get a good night's sleep.
10:40 a.m. I think. Arizona time.
So, but yeah, no, I mean, again, a winnable series here with the way the Marlins are playing, and the Diamondbacks could keep this roll going where they have yet to lose a series this year.
Yeah.
Which is still just wild to me to say.
The Marlins are by far the worst team the Diamondbacks have played so far. I mean, this is the first series they've played that's like, oh yeah, the Marlins, they're not that good, right? You haven't been able to say that about the Dodgers or the Padres or, the Brewers, who came in with the best record in the National League.
Correct.
And actually still are tied for the best record in the National League. D-backs are still a half game behind them at this point. But
MLB.com, or no, I'm sorry, not MLB. This is Marlins website. They have the Diamondbacks and the Marlins listed as MLB's hottest rivalry. I think that's just a play on the heat in both cities, potentially. I don't really think it's the hottest rivalry in baseball.
But they do have pictures.
They call it the Suntan Classic.
The Suntan. I actually kind of dig that.
Suntan Classic.
The Suntan Classic.
I fucking love it. Let's go.
And you can probably guess who the two people on the front cover are.
It's Jazz and Zach, of course.
It's Jazz Chisholm and Zach Gallen.
And the Marlins, which I do think is pretty electric, will be wearing their throwback teal uniforms in game 1. And that is, man, I hope that's something that makes the Diamondbacks front office look over there and be like, we need to bring that back, because that is something that's electric. But again, Jazz not having a great year. Zach Gallen bouncing back a bit. And again, a big marquee matchup, which I'm sure Zach will be up for the challenge against Sandy Alcantara.
Yeah, Alcantara, I don't remember what his line was off the top of my head. I don't have the numbers, but I think he threw something like a complete game shutout or something like that in his first start of the year. In his second start, he was actually not very good at all. So that's why his ERA is like up over 5 right now. Zach Gallen, of course, had a couple of clunkers to start the season and then was very, very good against the Brewers. And his ERA is still like 4.5 or something like that. So
Kyle says in the comments, "What? I didn't realize we were rivals with the Marlins. Literally since when? I don't know either. Since the Zach Gallen Jazz Chisholm trade, I guess. Everybody knows, like I said, we're rivals with the Tampa Bay Rays. And right now, we don't want none of that smoke. So we will keep our rivalries with another team in Florida.
They're the sister team.
They're the sister team.
They're not really rivals.
Team.
Nobody's trying to pretend that the Rays and the Diamondbacks is like some marquee matchup, right?
Oh, come on. I would market the shit out of that as the two last.
The World Series matchup.
Oh yeah, man.
That was a trendy pick. Was it like 2007 maybe? Sometime like 10 to 15 years ago, I remember D-backs Rays being like kind of a trendy, like, oh yeah, that would be a cool World Series. Never happened, but
it did not.
Who knows? Maybe someday it will.
It did not. Well, again, prepare for some good times here in Miami with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I'm sure Torey has already changed into his shorts and his flip-flops at this point. We had an update on Josh Rojas, apparently his feelings on Torey Lovullo's ejection.
Yeah, this is from Teo Mackey, who's over in the clubhouse covering this game. Josh Rojas on Torey Lovullo's ejection. Rojas said, "I love it. It's one of my favorite things."
Yeah, it is.
Which very much tracks with Rojas's personality.
The players see a different side of Torey that Jesse and I don't even get to see, really. Like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes we get Torey in kind of like where he's just being himself, and Torey's just one of the coolest people, right? But the players definitely see a different edge to Torey when he's doing those meetings alone with them. But I'm sure Rojas kind of has a similar feelings on us that Torey's just a kind of a laid back, nice guy. So it's kind of amazing when you see him literally put it into fifth gear and just take off on so like he could not wait. I think the Diamondbacks have a video of him coming from the dugout out to argue, and he went under the railing for the stairs because he was in that much of a hurry to get out there. He didn't walk around it and then up the stairs. He went under it and just went right out, man. He was fired up. But I will tell you, Diamondbacks team, they are in fact a wagon, so don't miss out on the excitement that this team is building around it. And a great way, much like our friend Sean DePaz did, a great way to take in a baseball game is after popping a couple of our friends from OG's brands. It'll be a wonderful afternoon, and it'll make the food at the ballpark 10 times more wonderful. I had the Sonoran dog. I talked about it yesterday. One of the best things I've had in my entire life. It was such a good.
Man, you're really on board with that.
I told you, I don't even like mustard that much. I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say I hate mustard, but I am not a mustard fan. There was a ton of mustard on this thing. Didn't matter. It was incredible. It was made the exact way it should, and it was a giant mess. And I was.
Isn't the bacon like kind of fake though? Like that, like Subway, like the Subway quality bacon.
No, it's not that. But the problem with the bacon on a hot dog, especially, is that typically if you cook it long enough for the bacon to be right where it's crispy, you've probably overcooked the hot dog by that point. So the bacon tends to have spots where it's still kind of, I'm not going to say raw, but like soft and not as nice and crispy as you would like it. However, it still has, I mean, almost all bacon can tend to have that sometimes where it's still a little fatty and stuff, right?
It's just good in general. You can get away with a lot when you're cooking bacon.
You can, and you can get a lot. You can get a lot away with me when I'm high and I'm eating your food. And of course, that food was wonderful. And like I said, you'll enjoy it even more with our friends from OG's brand. I'm excited to be hanging out with them at Buds-A-Palooza this Friday. And our new collab shirt with OG's brands is now live. If you want to get your hands on this dope collab tee, make sure to get your tickets to Buds-A-Palooza, baby. Join us. We will be out there. I'm going to be having a blast. I will be part of the OG's PHNX Variety Show live from Buds-A-Palooza. Our crew will be out there Friday, April 14th in downtown Phoenix, just outside of our building, and hanging out with our friends from OG's. We'll be doing, like I said, a special edition of the OG's PHNX Variety Show live from Buds-A-Palooza, and that is also where you can buy this incredible OG's collab shirt. I already got mine, and I will be wearing it that day, and I got one for my wife. I got one for my friends. It's a big hit. So to get more info on Buds-A-Palooza, check out www.budsapalooza.com. And of course, whether you make it out to Buds-A-Palooza or not, another good time is to go out to our friends at Fort Peaks 8th Street Pub, enjoy their chicken tendies, enjoy their wonderful beer selection. You can also find their beers all around the valley, including at Circle K. Of course, you can get specialty beers out at the 8th Street Pub as well that you can't get anywhere else. Make sure to follow them on Four Peaks Brew on social media to get their latest on Arizona's premier craft brewery. And then the best place to take in the NFL draft on April 27th is at Four Peaks 8th Street Pub with us from PHNX. Register for free in the link in our show description to take advantage of beer specials. Must be 21 years or older to enjoy, and enjoy responsibly. They will have $3 red beer lager pints, $5 red beer lager pitchers, and our usual $3 kilt lifter and wow pint specials whenever PHNX is in the house. I kind of demand it. I don't throw my weight around as mayor very much, but when it comes to wow pints being on sale for $3, it's an absolute must. And of course, it's an absolute must for you guys to join us here again tomorrow for our last show. Not really last show, because Sunday we're going to be doing post-series shows. Sundays to me in my mind are still at the beginning of the week, but not on our schedule. Join us tomorrow. We will be previewing that series with the Marlins, as well as talking about all sorts of Arizona Diamondbacks wackiness. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at @cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. Damon is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Our show is at PHNX_DBacks. But of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You got anything else for us?
That's all I got.
That's all we got for you. So
D-backs haven't lost a series.
That's still
that's it.
That's it. That's
all
tweet.
there is.
That's it. Yes, Ryan, Brunch Bros on Sunday. We will see you for brunch on Sunday. We will see you back here for lunch at 1 p.m. tomorrow. But like I said, we thank you guys so much for joining us. On behalf of Damon, Jesse, and myself, we always appreciate your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you don't lose a series the entire year.